child dies from malaria every 30 seconds. It is one of the world's biggest killers. Nowhere in Africa is the burden of malaria greater than in Nigeria.
Nigeria probably has the most serious malaria burden in Africa.
1 in 3 of every children that die prematurely in Nigeria die as a consequence of malaria.
Around 50% of Nigerians will have one attack at least of malaria each year.
This is Dawakin Tofa, a village in Kano State, one of the most affected areas in the country. Under the Rollback Malaria Partnership, Nigeria's National Malaria Control Programme, the UK's Department for International Development DFID with its SuNMaP project, and other partners including the World Bank, UNICEF and USAID, the US Agency for International Development, have come together to take a stand against the disease. Kano has become a key battleground in the fight against malaria.
This is the first time that Nigeria is really making a concerted effort to try to address this problem.
Mariam lives in Dawakin Tofa with her 4 children and 6 grandchildren. For Mariam and her family, malaria is a constant worry. They have no practical protection from the mosquitoes that carry the disease, and so every night they risk being bitten and infected. Today, that is all going to change.
DFID has a large malaria program called SuNMaP, the Support to National Malaria Program. Its role is to provide bed nets for the campaign.
SuNMaP and partners are supplying long-lasting insecticidal nets to be distributed to households across Nigeria. The campaign is commencing in key affected states, including Kano, and will eventually roll out across the whole country.
Every household will receive 2 nets by the end of 2010, which means that they have 18 months to distribute 63 million nets, which has been identified as the need for Nigeria.
All around Kano State, the nets have been stockpiled, ready for distribution, and a large event is held to mark the launch of the campaign. As part of an unprecedented communications push, house-to-house health mobilisers visit every village to ensure that everyone knows what they need to do.
Now we are going from house to house with the net cards. We are ensuring that more people will have access to this. By the end of 2010, we'll be sure that at least 80% of people in every community, in every settlement, are using this.
Each household is given a net card which they will exchange for 2 free nets at the collection points. As part of their SuNMaP training, the mobilisers must make sure that each household knows when and where to collect their nets. Each house is marked to show that the mobilisers have paid a visit.
We send messages along with the house-to-house mobilisers. Take over from malaria, use the net. It's very simple.
Today, Mariam is to collect the mosquito nets that will protect her family from the deadly malaria-carrying mosquitoes. Word has got around, and there is already a large queue. Everyone is excited. These precious nets will make a huge difference to their lives. As soon as she arrives home, Mariam hangs her nets outside for 24 hours, as she has been instructed. This is to prevent possible allergic reactions to the insecticide. And Mariam is not alone. All across Kano State, women are hanging their nets in preparation for use. Once the 24 hours are up, the nets can safely be used. Mariam decides to keep one and give the other to her eldest granddaughter as a wedding gift. It means that the next generation of Mariam's family will have the best protection right from the start, and with it the best chance of living full and healthy lives.
Mortality rates are going to come down, and therefore people who wouldn't want to have too many children because they feel that half of them might die of malaria.
DFID's SuNMaP programme will help to make Nigeria the first country in Africa to offer universal coverage of mosquito nets to its entire population. It is crucial to ensure that the programme is sustainable.
The challenge is not to get somebody to sleep under a net the day after the campaign. The challenge is that they still sleep under the net 2 years after the campaign.
We can start developing a system by which nets are constantly being released into the communities on a routine basis.
No single organisation can do this alone. The mosquito net programme in Nigeria is the result of a vast range of different organisations, NGOs and faith groups coming together as a cohesive partnership to support the Nigerian government in taking a stand against malaria.
All of these programs and the implementers are working together.
That everybody feels that we're doing this together. There's a good team spirit. We all meet each other when we go to the field.
It's not often that we come at such a scale together.
Ultimately, tackling malaria in Nigeria is the only way to tackle it on a global scale and meet the United Nations Millennium Development Goals.
The goals 4, 5 and 6 are direct. But goal 1 says elimination of extreme poverty and hunger. Malaria is a disease of poverty. It makes the poor poorer. This is very, very encouraging.
The aim now for Nigeria and SuNMaP is to roll out the scheme beyond the border of Kano State so that the whole country will benefit. Millions of lives will be saved.
It can be done. It can be done. Other countries have done it, and Nigeria is doing it. And if it can be done in Nigeria, it can be done anywhere else.